any of that interests you, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Welcome to the channel. Jealous people want to play in your face, and that's why they use manipulation tactics. In today's live, I'm going to be talking about how jealous people, they like to manipulate you and gaslight you oftentimes into believing that they're not doing or saying anything wrong. They don't want you to see exactly what they're up to. They don't want you to be aware of their little schemes and tricks and tactics. And because of that, you have to be even more aware of what they're doing. That's what I'm going to be talking about in today's live. Just going to let a few of you come on here. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to All Things Woman, where we discuss femininity, womanhood, and I give you overall life advice. Hey, Kimberly Sanders, how are you? You are the first one here. Welcome to the live. Welcome. Yes, jealous people are masters at trying to manipulate you and gaslight you into believing that they're not doing anything wrong or saying anything wrong. They don't want you to see what they're doing. And when your eyes come open to their foolishness, they don't like it and they try to gaslight and manipulate you. And I'm going to tell you the three things that people who are haters and jealous and they want to be able to control you in some way, they typically say these three things. I'm going to get into that soon. Miss Abundant 74. Hello, good morning or good afternoon where I am. How are you? Welcome to the live stream. Key the Princess. Blessings to you too. Grand rising to you as well, Eunice Riffer. Welcome to the live chat. Welcome to the live stream. I appreciate you all for being here. Going to be getting more into manipulation tactics that jealous people use. It's funny when your eyes come open to the bad behavior of other people and how they mistreat you, they tend to get upset with you and they want you to feel like there's something wrong with you, all because you see right through them. And that's where the manipulation and gaslighting comes in. A lot of people who want to be able, as they say, to play in your face, they want to be able to treat you however they want to treat you. When your eyes come open to the way they try to play you, to the way they try to mistreat you, they don't like that. Jealous people tend to say some of the most oddest things when you know them and see them for who they are. Kimberly Sanders, I wish I had your encouragement and support when I was working, but your information applies in daily life too. Well, I appreciate you saying that. And absolutely, it's not just for the workplace, it's in your entire life. Because unfortunately, if you're going to live in the world, you're going to deal with different people. And a lot of times, unfortunately, we get so accustomed to having certain people around us who are mishandling us, and we really don't recognize it. We just know that we feel off. We know that, mentally, we might not be feeling the greatest. We might feel bad in the presence of other people. And we often, especially as women, we are more introspective a lot of times. We like to, just think maybe there's something wrong with us. But most of the times, if not often, sometimes it's what people are putting you through, what you're allowing. And you don't recognize the behavior as toxic because you're so used to it. You've accepted that as the norm. And for myself, I had to go through a lot of things in order to realize that I was being mishandled. And that's why I talk the way I talk now. And that's why I teach you all about these different things, because it took me a lot of trial and error. It took me a lot of dealing with toxic behavior before I realized I don't have to deal with this. Like, this is not normal. Like, I'm feeling all, anxious and my mental health is suffering, all because I'm going to let you play in my face. Absolutely not. I see it for what it is and I'm done. And a lot of women need to get to that place. And that's what I feel like I'm called to do in this moment. I won't be having jealous people in my life anymore. At Colonia Robinson, that's wonderful. Yeah, you should not tolerate jealousy. Jealousy is a wicked demonic spirit as I see it. And to have the emotion of feeling jealous from time to time, that's normal. But a person who their characteristics, their personality, the way they are, they're a hater, they're a bully. That is not the kind of person you want to surround yourself with on a daily basis, if ever, if you can help it. But when people try to manipulate you, when they are jealous of you and they try to manipulate you into thinking that you're not seeing what you're seeing or the way you feel, somehow it's all in your head. People who want to manipulate you, often they use the phrase that it's all in your head. You're reading too much into this. And it's because they want to be able to continue to do the things that they're doing to you. They want to continue to make you feel like you need to dumb yourself down in some way, or you're doing too much, or the number one saying, and I see a lot of you comments about how people in the church and spiritual people, how they are jealous and things like that. And I am going to do a video on that topic, but a lot of people do use sometimes spiritual manipulation to try to get you to think that you're not seeing what you're seeing, just to brush it off. And they say, why are you worrying about that? There's other things to think about. Well, it's not a matter of worrying about what somebody is doing to you. It's being aware so that you can act accordingly. It's a difference. And I need you to understand this, because a lot of women, I see some of the comments and you're like, well, that's why I don't worry about this stuff anymore. You don't have to worry about it for it to be very much happening in your life. And if you're not aware of something, you will not know how to deal with it. Ignorance is not bliss, at least not on this channel, in this community. It's like we don't just sweep things under the rug and act like they don't exist when they affect us. I hope that makes sense. Kimberly Sanders, can your husband be jealous of you? Absolutely. Marissa DeVoe, absolutely. And that's unfortunate. And now I'm going to say this because that's a very delicate topic about your husband being jealous of you. But there are times when you might be doing, how can I say it? There's seasons in life, let's say that. And you might be doing extremely well in your professional career. You might be doing a lot of great things. People are, inspired by you, whatever it might be. And your husband might have just lost his job. Your husband might not be doing great right now where he is. Absolutely, he can feel jealous of you. But in that jealousy, if he's your husband and he cares about you and he loves you, he knows how to contain that, as to be jealous of whatever you might be accomplishing and he's not accomplishing it. There's a difference when somebody wishes they were doing what you were doing, but still happy for you. And when somebody sees what you're doing and they don't want you to do anything because they're not accomplishing something, there's a difference. So if your husband, if you can tell that he's happy for you, but still feeling kind of bad because things might be going bad for him right now. For me personally, I think that's a little bit normal. However, in that, he should still be able to clap for you. He should be there to support you. I would say it's very sensitive, especially with relationships. I mean, as far as I see it with husband and wife, when you win, he's winning. When he's winning, you're winning. That's the way I see it. But I know, just being human, people have their feelings. You win $1 million or get a big bonus at your job. You got $3,000 today and he lost his job today. He might feel a little weird, and I think that's just a part of being human. But if his natural bent is to be a hater every time you accomplish something, that's a deeper issue. I hope I answer your question. Last name DeVoe. Can your husband be jealous of? Yeah, that shouldn't be his normal reaction to everything. You telling him good news and he's like, act like he doesn't hear you or he doesn't care. No, that's a problem. Negative energy are not to be accepted as normal, and therefore listen and learn from our mistakes and experiences. She nails it on the wall. Well, I appreciate you saying that, Kimberly. And yes, a lot of us have been programmed to put our emotions aside, put our feelings aside, and just take whatever people give to us. And people look for ways to justify their bad behavior and mistreatment of other people. They want you to believe that if you expect for somebody to support you, then that's you thinking more highly of yourself than what you should think. That's you expecting, like, who are you? Why do I need to do this for you? Who are you? Which is another phrase that jealous people tend to say. Who are you? And when they ask you those kind of questions or they say those kind of things, in my mind, it's like they're telling me exactly who I am. They're telling me I'm that girl. Otherwise, you wouldn't be saying things like that. Otherwise, you wouldn't even feel that way if I wasn't somebody. And it's not that you have to carry yourself in an arrogant, cocky, prideful way, because people who are often jealous, envious haters, they want you to believe that you are so prideful, so arrogant, so cocky. And you want to know why? It's because they're accustomed to you being just like, well, no, I got a promotion at the job, but it's no big deal, whatever. They're used to that fake humility that people do, instead of recognizing, for me, through the grace of God, number one, you're accomplishing whatever you need to accomplish, but maybe you worked hard for that. Maybe you prayed about it and it actually came to fruition. God did it and you're happy. You should not have to scale yourself back because somebody is a hater. And when you're happy about something, that is not you doing too much. That is you thanking God for myself, for the blessing, for whatever's happening. And if you can't be that way in front of somebody, if they're constantly telling you, like, okay, pipe down now, okay, relax, it's not that serious. If you prayed for something and it's happening in your life and you're seeing changes, it absolutely is that serious. But people who are jealous, envious haters, and they want to manipulate you into believing that somehow you being happy for your blessings, for your life, is somehow being cocky, arrogant, and prideful, it's because those people, in my opinion, they lack self-esteem. If they're a spiritual person, they lack faith, and they're not accustomed to seeing their prayers answered. They're not accustomed to doing the things required to accomplish the things that they want in life. They just sit back and hate on other people and observe their reactions and make critique. You ever notice how people who critique the most actually accomplish the least? Have you ever noticed that? Let me look at some of your comments. Clarity Reeves, welcome to the live chat. You're always be on point, sis. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad that you're here, and I appreciate that. Marissa DeVoe, you're welcome. Decorating time with Rochelle. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Tia Mammy, you have helped me tremendously and helped me to understand it is jealousy. I am so glad that I'm helping you, Tia Mammy, and I appreciate you being here. Jamisha Hollins, I love to see the high heel emojis and the lipstick emojis. Do you know what just a little bit of a sidebar, the high heel emojis? Somebody in the comment section asked me, what is it with the high heel emojis? In my opinion, the high heel emoji, and it doesn't have to be red, but the high heel emoji, it symbolizes a woman who stands on business in a feminine way. It's a woman who does not sweep things under the rug and keep everybody else comfortable in order to, not have any conflict, but she suffers. When you put that high heel emoji up there, to me, that's like a symbol of power for a woman. Like she's it's not like power in the masculine way where you're like overrunning everybody. It's that you are a confident, wise woman. And the color red, like you have to be bold to wear the color red because people can see it. And on this channel, I feel like I talk about a lot of bold topics. So when I say put the high heel emoji in the comment section, it lets me know that you're like on the same vibe that I am when it comes to these things. And, I just have my people and it's cute, and it's cute. So I love to see it and I thank you for it. Alex Floyd, exactly. Amen. Kia the Princess, Kimberly, they tried to dumb you down. Absolutely. You don't even have to be high-minded. You could be saying, thank God, you could be giving your testimony in church, and you have haters. Yes, to address that for a minute. Just because somebody's in the church, that doesn't mean that God is in them. And they might not know how to rejoice with other people. They might not know, they're so used to being down bad that they don't look for inspiration from other people and seeing what God has done in other people's lives. They just know how to be a hater. So yes, those kind of things can exist in church too. It's unfortunate because they should know better. But yeah, you have a lot of women, you come to church, you wear the best thing you know how to wear, you look good, you feel good, you want to hear something, you want to hear from God. And you have women in the church that are haters too, looking at you when you come in. I've experienced that where me and my kids, it was a Sunday and my husband might have been working. And me and my kids would go to church and I was looking for different churches. So we went to a different church and I'll never forget, it was the summertime. And I came in and I had on a dress. It was a maxi dress, so it was long, but it was a little bit fitted, not too tight. And I had something like this, like a cardigan over top of it, even though it was the summertime. I still had a cardigan over top of it out of respect. So I don't want my shoulders and everything all out. And hair done, all that. I came in and the ladies are looking at me like, and when it's time to greet everybody, everybody just walk right on past me. And I'm like, okay, I see what this is. And for me, I don't go to church to mingle with the people. I really want to hear a word from God. Like, I'm there to learn. If I get greeted, that's wonderful. But if not, I'm not worrying about that. But it's just unfortunate that, like, even in that setting, you have women who are just like looking at other women like, who does she think she is? And I know for a fact that sometimes it sounds shallow, it's looks, because sometimes I have went to church all dialed up, looking really nice, my Sunday's finest. And then some days, and I noticed the difference. And even not just in church, but just in general, you ever, like, I've done tests before to see how women respond to me. So depending on where I'm going, I get dressed up and I look the best I know how to look. And women just act like they don't want to see me, whatever. But then sometimes I'll go to church and I'll put on, I'll put on the Southern mom best for church, meaning I'll have something that looks a little bit more homely. I might wear my head wrap, which there's nothing wrong with wearing head wraps. I do wear those from time to time too. But there's a look. I'll look a little bit more, as they say, Pentecostal. I'll have on my head wrap, have on a more loose fitting dress, stockings, all that kind of stuff. And I notice, hey, sister, how you doing? Hey, sister. Hey, sister. But when I'm dressed up looking more my age, more, it's almost like I'm non-existent. And women are just like that. Some women, not all, but some women, especially in that kind of environment. Why it's like that, I don't know. I just think it's a matter of women's insecurities. I think it's a matter of them not focusing on the right things when they're there. And when you don't feel confident about yourself, you're going to perceive everybody, every woman, as a threat. So when you don't feel confident with you, that's just the way it is. You perceive everybody as a threat. They didn't know, I came in there, so it appeared that I was a single mother with my kids, dressed up like this, like I was looking for somebody. Honey, my husband was at work. I'm still trying to get the word of God in me while he's gone. It was nothing like that. But women, they just see you and they automatically judge that you're this type of person. And you can tell it by how they treat you. Because I can see there's somebody saying, see, you're reading too much into that. No, if a sister walks right by you, I'm not saying nobody's obligated to speak to you. But if somebody sees you're right in front of them and they're bypassing you, it's time to greet, and they just act like you don't exist. You're not going to tell me that's not a thing. Like, there's not something underlying there. Like, you're not. Do I care? Should you care? No. But this is the way some women are, especially in those kind of environments. It's unfortunate. I just watched your previous Alexis Floyd, sorry. I just watched your previous video and I believe God led me to listen to it. I couldn't comprehend the fact that the friend I made at church embarrasses me in front of others or undermine me. Yeah, you have some people, and people say, church ladies and things like that. And I tread lightly on that because, some people might have considered me a church lady or consider me a church lady. However, there's a difference when what I don't like and what I'm seeing a lot of now is that people are openly shaming other people in the church and calling it like confession. Like, I saw a video of a young lady who, she was underage, got pregnant, and got up in front of the congregation and had to apologize to them and all of that. For me, I didn't like that at all. Do I agree with her being underage and being pregnant? Absolutely not. Do I believe God will forgive her and will help her? Absolutely. But I think using that as an opportunity to shame her, that's a problem. What's done is done. At this point, she needs somebody to encourage her. She needs somebody to help her going forward. But all of that is just too much for me. And even though I believe that me and my family, we are spiritual, we love the word, but I would not ever, and my husband already knows, I'm not subjecting my kids to these occult-like type practices. Like, I don't care. The Spirit of God is in me, but I don't do pastor worshiping. I don't do congregation worshiping. I don't do any of that. So if something goes down and we need to discuss it with somebody, we might discuss it with the pastor. But as far as this whole getting in front of the congregation, doing all of that, no, that's very occult-like. I'm not doing all of that. Who are they? A lot of them are probably sitting out. I'm going to leave that alone. I feel myself going off on a tangent on that, let's get back to the subject at hand. Manipulation practices that jealous people use. Like, I just don't do it because I know some people, God is real, but people are so caught up in pastor worshiping that sometimes they just start doing too much things that are outside of scripture. You got to be careful. That's why you have to study for yourself. But that's that. On the spiritual note, let me look at some of your comments. We got into a small quarrel, Alexis Floyd. We got into a small quarrel and she texted me a long paragraph saying, I wanted to slap the what? I wanted to slap the piss out of you. I see why you don't have friends. And she even called me self-centered. I'm trying to think of the most classy response I would have gave to something like that, because church or no church, and my husband knows, I'm a Christian. I love Jesus, but don't do that. Don't do that. What's those shirts that say, I forget what they say, but just don't do that. No. She would have sent me that text. I'd be like, so you were saying, so you were saying what? You gonna do what? Like, we can meet at the church? Say no. Let me stop being goofy now. Don't do that. I'm just being silly. But that's some audacity. See, people, they might be in the church, but God is not in them. That's odd. Very odd. I believe in her repenting. Absolutely. But Troit's finest, yes, repentance. Absolutely. You're supposed to. And I do not want this to get into a spiritual conversation. This is not a sermon, but I was given the example of how sometimes people use shame to express their hate for you or dislike for you. Some people get joy out of that. And I think people forget that they themselves also might have made mistakes in different ways. Again, I don't condone that behavior, but yeah, they got to do. I don't like that. You have helped me, Jamisha Hollins. You have helped me more than you could ever know. I appreciate you and all your knowledgeable videos. Thank you so much for saying that, Jamisha Hollins. And I'm so glad that you're getting benefit from what I'm doing. And, sometimes I'm not quite sure, how people are receiving it, but I'm starting to get the idea now. So I appreciate all of you. But because this thing with jealousy, especially amongst women, even though it happens with men too, it is very much real. And when you don't recognize it for what it is, you put yourself unknowingly in situations where you could be harmed. And I just did a video about, women and going on these girls' trips. And, I don't even know if that's really like a big thing still now. I think a lot of women are becoming more, as they say, hip to not really going out of town with people who might be your haters. A lot of women are unfortunately using these kind of environments to express their dislike and their hate for other women. They wait until they go all the way out of town in order to express how much they dislike them. But in the meanwhile, when you're in your state, in your city, they might still be smiling in your face, acting all buddy-buddy. And if you don't recognize the red flags, you will go out of town with somebody who is your straight up enemy. And I try to prevent women from doing those things by recognizing those hater-like behaviors in women while you're still on land, while you're still in your neighborhood, while you're still at your workplace, I understand people don't like being shamed into growing, but it is one of the ways we do grow. Absolutely. And I hear you as far as shaming, because I know some women, as far as shame wise, you should feel bad about certain things that are ignorant behavior, certain things that are not helpful or useful to you. Absolutely. But I don't believe that it's anybody else's place unless you are close to that person, a parent, a husband, wife, if that's your child. But I don't believe an absolute stranger has a right. I mean, unless God puts somebody in your path to just, kick you while you're down. Like there's a difference between somebody encouraging you and somebody kicking you while you're down. And that's what haters do. That's what not just haters or jealous people, but that's what weird people do. And nobody's going to convince me that the love of Christ is to kick somebody while they're down. That is not it. Once again, this is not a sermon or anything spiritual, really. That spirit is spiritual, but this right here is not about that. Kimberly Saunders, as you see, your secret hater may bring hurt or harm. And I'm thinking about something right now, because the fact that you keep on co-signing on the idea of shaming somebody, that, in my opinion, and this is not to attack you, Betrothed Finest, It is to say just how much a lot of people are programmed into believing that being mishandled is a normal thing. So many of us are accustomed to people just always, as they say, putting their foot on your neck, that you just take it as normal. It's not normal for somebody to constantly put you down. It's not normal for somebody to constantly pick you apart. When people are accustomed to being in toxic situations with people who find it their mission and their joy to pick apart your faults or what they perceive as faults, that is not normal. And from a lot of the comments that I get, not just that, I can tell that a lot of women are accustomed to being around people who control them, control their emotions, control their mindset, control the way they move. They're used to it. And that's what I had to not get used to. I had to get used to understanding that when I speak, it means something. That I don't need to just, be quiet and let the people overtalk me. I don't have to just say, well, you know what, maybe you're right. Maybe I am looking too much into this, and then continue to let somebody disrespect me or talk to me like they're crazy. I can tell from a lot of the comments that I get that a lot of women are accustomed to being mishandled. And that is what I try to teach on this channel. I try to teach you how to love yourself enough and how to have enough discernment and wisdom to understand when people are straight playing in your face. It's not that you're not a woman that's open to critique, open to being, maybe you do misunderstand things. We're all human. We do have misunderstandings and we read too much into things. But if you never feel well in the presence of certain people, if you start getting triggered to anxiety and depression, if you start feeling bad about yourself as if there's something wrong with you, not once in a while, but all the time when you're around certain people, you may be getting mistreated and you don't even realize it because you're accepting it as normal. You're accepting the fact that auntie and always call you derogatory names, always pick apart your body, talking about how your body is looking deformed, talking about how you, the way you talk is crazy, the way you talk, the way you think. Oh, you're too deep. It's not that serious. A lot of times when people say things are not that serious, it's because they are the problem. It's because they're the people who are doing and saying the little dumb things, and they want you to be so jaded, so naive that you overlook the foolish things they're saying. It's normally those people who say it's not that serious because to them, they want to be able to play in your face. Should you walk around taking everything serious like, oh, they're out to get me? Absolutely not. But you have to know when somebody's coming for you. It's just the womanly thing to do, in my opinion. Good afternoon from Dallas, Texas, Nancy Wilson. Welcome to All Things Woman. Welcome back to the live chat. You're welcome, Amber Imani. Can you tell me, Marissa DeVoe, can you tell me why a younger lady would hate on an older lady? Because I have this problem at work and I just don't understand it. Well, first of all, for somebody to hate on you or be jealous of you, it's not a matter of age. If you're an older woman and you keep yourself together and you carry yourself with class and grace, if you are more of that, classy, you have decorum about yourself, and the younger lady sees you or perceives you as some kind of threat, it doesn't matter about your age. It's just about you as a woman. A lot of young ladies, in my opinion, they do get put off and feel some kind of way about older women, especially when you don't look your age, and especially when you still, have that kind of pull possibly with men and just with people in general. Yeah, a lot of younger women can hate on you. You might be in your 40s, 50s, and you'll have a 20-something-year-old that's, giving you the skunk eye and looking at you like you're crazy, all because you probably could still compete with her. And I don't believe in competing and all of that, but I just mean if you're a beautiful woman and not just in how you look on the outside, but just the way you carry yourself, oh yeah, you could have a young woman that hates on you. That is not impossible. I have seen it. I've seen, younger women giving the skunk eye to, older women. And it's because the older woman, she's happy, unbothered, beautiful, a pleasure to be around. And a lot of these younger women, I hate to say it this way, but a lot of younger women today, they're being taught to be more like savages. They're being taught to be like overly provocative savages, just to look a certain way, but to carry themselves like savage beasts. They don't want to smile. They don't want to have a conversation. They don't to, be kind. Not all younger women. This is all things women. So, I speak to all women, but the overarching mentality as of late seems to be that you have a beautiful younger woman that doesn't have any class, doesn't have any grace, and she might look very nice on the outside, but she is more like I said, savage. And when you have a woman that has that kind of mindset and she comes across a woman who is equally beautiful, but knows how to lighten up, she's more kind, she's more nice to people, she knows how to just go with the flow of things in a good way. Yeah, a woman who carries herself when she always has, a chip on her shoulder, as they used to say, not going to like that. Betros finds I am a savage. I am a savage. And are you proud of that, Betros Finest? To you, being a savage, what does that represent to you? Because you said I am a savage, like you proclaimed it, you claimed it, you claimed that you are a savage. So what does that mean to you to be a savage? Does it mean something different than what I just said? Is that somehow a positive thing? Let me know. I just want to know. Just curious. Subtle signs. Yep. Trust your gut. Example. Anna Tampa. If you're not photogenic, a jealous friend will love to take those unflattering pics of you to take it out on you when you're looking your best. And that's up to you to allow them to do that. People can only do to you the way I see it, what you allow them to do. And if you say that you don't want a picture, then and they still try to proceed to take a picture, then that's when you have to go into that queen feminine energy and make sure that they don't take a picture. I've had that situation also where people tend to want to take a picture of you at your worst. People have popped up at my house and, oh, we haven't seen you and I'm not really ready. I didn't expect nobody to be here and they want to take pictures. And I say, no, that's okay. I'll take a picture of you. I'm not taking a picture. And they feel some kind of way. That's fine. Feel your way, but I'm not ready. And you're not going to catch me slipping. Period. Women need to be more kind, understanding, and patient with each other. Absolutely, Niall Bryant. Women do need to be more patient, kind, and understanding. And in being patient, kind, and understanding, it cannot be one person being the punching bag or the one getting beat up on while the other one expects you to understand their jealous, envious, toxic behavior. So if you mean by patient and understanding that you wait for them to change their ways or you tolerate their nonsense, I don't believe we need to have patience in that way. I believe you need to get away from them when they show you who they are. And if they're snakes, you need to get away from them. Hidden motives. Money hungry, greedy, and jealous. Single and okay with it. All right. Said money hungry, greed, and jealousy. Do you want to elaborate on that? Single, okay with it, and okay with it. Wow, exactly what a savage would say. I don't have to explain myself. I'm confused because that comes off as you don't care about anyone but yourself. That's some negative BS. Exactly. They use that reverse psychology, or I guess gaslighting. They make it as if you're saying something wrong because how dare you expect them to support you? How dare you expect them to at least not give you an attitude? How dare you expect them to talk to you in a respectful way, or to at least, understand where you're coming from. I think people take the term friend and family too lightly, and they just treat it as if, okay, we're family. That's just the way it is. No, it took me a while to realize even with family, respect is still due. And what happens when you grow up, especially when you're talking about siblings and parents, maybe cousins and aunties, if they only know you as that little girl and you grow up, you're a woman, you're not the same. More than likely, your personality has changed, let's hope. And you are more of a confident woman. And you don't want to still be treated the way you were treated when you were younger. When a lot of us, when we were young, we were being manipulated. We thought auntie being abrasive and being harsh and calling you ugly and like, oh, ain't nobody think about you, girl, saying all these little things like that. We thought that stuff was normal. And, playfulness, all of that, I'm not saying that. But when you get older, you're a grown woman and they still try to address you in that way. and you shut it down, oh yeah, you're going to become the villain. You're going to become the one that, like, oh, you act like nobody can say nothing to you now. Not if what you want to say is disrespectful and crazy. Absolutely, you can't say nothing to me. And that is kind of the mindset. And I know it might sound some kind of way to people who are used to mistreating others, but that is the kind of mindset you have to adapt with toxic people as you grow up as a woman, as you mature. You can't let people, once again, play in your face and manipulate you into believing their toxic behavior is normal. Like, we just don't deal with it. I know I don't. I just don't. Call me CP. There's a fine line between respectful disagreement and being a savage. You don't have to explain yourself when you don't act savage, just thinking out loud. Absolutely. I have the same situation with in-laws. I just shrug it off. Yeah, I know sometimes, when it comes to in-laws, families, things like that, some things you just want to let go, especially if you don't see them that often. It's like, whatever, you just let it go because it's not worth it. You just want to keep the unity, keep the peace. But even that stops to an extent, especially when it becomes harmful to you and to your mental health, you know? The devil loves to remind you of who you were in your past. And thank you for bringing that up, Bobby. Why? Thank you for bringing that up. Because when people who are jealous and envious and they want to manipulate you into believing that somehow your response to their negativity is a bad thing, they often will bring up your past in order to try to somehow dumb you down a notch or humble you in order to get you to see things their way, their toxic way. If you expect something from them, and a lot of people, especially when they're jealous and envious, they are upset at the fact that you try to get support from them, that you want them to see things your way. And honestly, once you recognize a jealous, envious person for who they are, it becomes foolish on your part to expect anything other than for them to be a hater. They don't know peace. They don't know anything other than whatever makes them feel good. It's always about them. And that's why I've said in previous videos that jealous, envious people, they tend to be a little bit narcissistic because they can't see anything from anybody else's point of view except for their own. And they only care about how things affect them. And that could be a little bit of selfishness in people, even when they're not, jealous, toxic, or envious. When people are selfish, they only see how things affect them. And our job as feminine, confident women is to not waste our time trying to get people to see our point of view. It is our job to get away from those people, correct them when we need to, and understand that you don't have to deal with their toxic negative behavior. Like wasting your time trying to really get through to a toxic, jealous, envious person, a person who seeks to control you and manipulate you, that is almost always a waste of time. Am I saying that people can't change and change their ways and really understand and see how they're hurting you, how they're affecting you? Absolutely, they can. You would hope for that. But more times than not, your little jealous auntie or cousin or fake friend is not really going to understand that, well, I opened a business and you didn't even say anything. I went away and I did this and you didn't even say anything about it. You didn't even call me. You didn't this. And they'll be like, what's the big deal? I didn't know you need me to call you. That's another thing that jealous, envious, toxic people who are just weird with their energy say, I didn't know you needed all of that from me. So when you're around just to be around, but then something good happens and you are surprised that I expected you to be there for me, those are people who are jealous of you. If they're not there for you at your greatest moment, unless there's some kind of you already knew they wouldn't be available, whatever it is, they are a hater. They're there for everybody else except for you. Yeah, you have people who are like that. And that's when you have to recognize them for what they are and move accordingly. Stop expecting people. And this is another way that a lot of women hurt themselves because you expect people to be to you what you are to them. And a lot of us, we are women that clap for other people. We are happy for other people. We want to celebrate their wins. But there are some people, even your own family, that will never be able to clap for you. They'll never be able to fully show their support for you because in doing so, it reflects their own shortcomings. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. for a lot of people, not all, but for a lot. I'm not even kidding. My husband is a hater and a narcissist working in a divorce. Wow. I'm sorry you're going through that, Bobby Y. It's a shame when it's your own husband, or somebody that, I don't even know how that happens. It's so weird. It's like when you're winning, I'm winning. When I'm winning, you're winning. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand what you said. Why would a mother be jealous of her daughter and gossip about me? I have seen a lot of those comments on different videos about a mother being jealous of her daughter. Only thing I can think of, because like I said before in other videos, I didn't have an adult relationship with my mother because she passed away. I have a daughter, and I cannot imagine being jealous of my own daughter or making her feel bad about the life that she now lives. I have heard many women say that a lot of their mothers, they feel uncomfortable about the kind of lifestyle they live. They act funny when they come in my house. They try to act like, I'm somehow bougie or I'm doing too much, or, they try to talk to me like as if I'm trying to be something I'm not. And a lot of times when people address you that way and say you're trying to be something that you're not, it's because you're turning out to be everything they thought they would be and didn't become. When people feel hopeless in their own situation, when people feel like they won't ever be able to accomplish certain things, when they even see a hint of you doing the very thing that they are doing, they will become jealous and envious of you. Even your own parents, I can imagine, apparently. Because mothers, a lot of times we sacrifice as mothers, but when you understand that sometimes sacrifice comes with motherhood, you might not be able to do every single thing you want to do in that moment. A mother who has resentment toward her child or feels like some way, somehow that they held them back from accomplishing the things they wanted to do, if that mother has a warped way of thinking, they don't look at their child as if, wow, she accomplished all these great things. I couldn't do it, but thank God my daughter's doing these things. She's doing great and I'm proud of her. If a mother looks at you as if you are her competition, that is just weird and ungodly to me. I don't understand it. And there's nothing wrong with putting distance between yourself and your parents. I've said before, I love my father, but I'm not around him all the time. For my mental health, I just cannot. My father's older now, thank God, so he doesn't have as much steam as he used to. But back in the day, my goodness, I could not be around him all the time because it would mess with my mental. It would agitate me. It would make me a very angry person because of the energy that he carried so heavy. And a lot of times when your friends, family, whomever carries that negative, toxic energy, you cannot be around them all the time because it's just not good for you. So if your mother is being a hater, if she's trying to make you feel bad about your lifestyle, make you feel bad about your choices, and your choices were good for you, if you're not doing anything wrong, she's not just being motherly and critiquing you, but she's just critiquing good, bad, whatever. You might have a loving husband, a good life, good children, and she's critiquing that as if you're doing too much. Mom is feeling a little bit resentful because she couldn't do the things that you're doing. And, you love her, but that's her problem. That's her problem. You're grown. You have to live your life. You know what I mean? Respectfully. Mm-mm. Yes, my mom played all siblings against each other. That's so weird. I don't understand that at all. That mother-daughter dynamic, I think it's like with your children, period. You have a son or a daughter, but something about the daughters. It's like my daughter, she looks just like me. My daughter, I want to see her excel and do great things. I can't imagine being jealous of anything that she does. If she wins in life and she's doing great, then I'm great. Both of my kids, if they're happy and they're doing well, I'm happy. I don't get that. But jealousy and manipulation. People who like to manipulate you when they're jealous of you, they always do things like co-sign on the bad behavior that other people or the things that people are saying about you. Have you ever been in a situation where somebody might have said something disrespectful or they said something a little underhanded and you caught it and somebody swoops in and say, "Oh, they didn't mean it that way. What she meant, she wasn't trying to say that." No, they said exactly what they meant to say. Don't try to clean it up. And that's the bad thing when your eyes come open to what the jealous people, negative people try to do. When your eyes come open and you're the kind of woman that likes to address things on the spot, oh, they're not going to like you. They try to manipulate you into believing that you didn't hear what you just heard, you didn't see what you just saw, you didn't feel what you just felt. It's all in your head. Look, if I have to be around people who try to convince me that everything I see and hear is in my head, I'd rather be by myself. I'd rather not be around those people. And I see a lot of the women who say, that's why I don't do women anymore. That's why I don't deal with this anymore. It's just a certain type of woman you don't want to be around. I don't want you to dismiss the idea of friendships, relationships. I truly believe that your tribe will find you. I truly believe that people who are for you, they will be for you. But it's probably not going to be the people you expect it to be. I know many of us, we normally want the people to be around us that were the closest to us, our friends, our family, our cousins. But as you get older, as you mature as a woman, a lot of times you see those people you expected to be really close to you, they're often the first ones to get more distant from you for whatever reason, be it jealousy, be it envy. Sometimes just transitions in life, people change, but it's not always going to be the people that you expect to be closest to you. Why is it so hard? Clever girl, let me see if I can scroll up. It's people, Anna Tampa, it's people who don't love themselves enough to see that unity is worth maintaining and putting the effort into maintaining. My husband also would rather pick a fight than to keep the peace. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, when it comes to relationships, yeah, you have to maintain that. And a lot of people don't. They just want you to co-sign on anything they do, anything they say, go along to get along. And if you don't, then you're out or I don't like you. Women are good for that. It's like any sign of disagreement, not all women, that goes without saying, but any sign of disagreement, I feel like you judging me. I feel like you judging me. Well, if you feel judged by me so much, maybe you shouldn't be around me. I've had people say that to me. And it's often because I don't do the same kind of things that they do. And this is where, ladies, knowing where you are in life will spare you from some of those awkward interactions that you might have with other women. It is okay to acknowledge when you're outgrowing certain people, certain situations, certain environments. You have to be able to recognize when you're outgrowing some things. That's how you avoid potentially being manipulated by jealous people. When you recognize that certain places, certain people, certain things are no longer for you, that's when you can avoid a lot of that toxic behavior. For me, I was still trying to sit around people. I was still trying to sit around people who were doing things that I'm not comfortable with. So I'm not really in like the club scene and all that kind of stuff anymore. And when I was doing it, it wasn't that much. But for a time, because it was just a part of how I moved in life, I would still try to go out and be around certain people and they be drinking a whole lot, smoking a whole lot, doing all these different things. And it was making me feel uncomfortable. And I'm sure they could see my discomfort from the fact that they started to feel like they were being judged by me. And they would say things like that. And it's not that I really cared about what they were doing. It's that I'm like, why am I here? Like, this is not even for me. Like, I'd rather go to a nice restaurant, a nice lounge or something, enjoy my little glass of wine, maybe, or a little cocktail, and have a good meal, have good conversation, and that's it. But I was still trying to fit into these different things that I have outgrown. I'm not putting down people who still go to the clubs and do all these different things. If you're grown, that's up to you. It's just not for me. I'm making an example here of what and how I realized that certain things were not for me. Because when you do that, when you're not into certain things, the type of people you hang around change. I start being around women who were also not into all the rowdiness, not into all the ratchetness. They don't want to go places where they could potentially be in a fight. So I start dealing with women who more so, yeah, okay, we'll go out and we'll meet and we'll go out to eat. We'll go out and go shopping. We'll go to the mall. We'll meet up at the bookstore. We'll go to, Dunkin' Donuts or go get coffee, different things like that. It's just a matter of knowing where you are in life and what season you are in life. I like to talk about a lot of deeper things. I got away from like shallow-minded type of women who all they wanted to talk about is pop culture. Nothing wrong with talking about pop culture, the Grammys, the news. I know about those things too. But when you elevate in your thinking and you elevate in how you move, you want to be around people who are also on that same type of vibe as you. And when you try to fit into places where you no longer fit, that's when you sometimes subject yourself to haters and jealous people. The people who are going to say, like, oh, so you think this, you think that. It's because oftentimes they see a change in you before you even see a change in you. And trying to still fit into things that don't match who you are in this season of your life is just not wise. You can avoid a lot of jealous, envious people, a lot of haters, and or just by knowing where you are in your life right now. Trying to look at some of your comments while also saying this. And my phone is buzzing. My goodness. Husband. Sorry, got to respond to my husband. Decorating time with Rochelle. That's weird vibes. What's weird vibes? Yes, mom and siblings against you. That's very, very weird. Yes, but these videos, on jealousy, envy, people, they try to just get you to believe that there's always something wrong with you when actually it's how they're treating you. As a woman, Shani Gilly, welcome to the live. Welcome. As women, we fail to realize that we need to encourage each other to greatness. Generations come from us, and we must be accountable to ourselves for what we manifest and how we encourage each other. Absolutely. In a perfect world, all women would be sitting around encouraging one another. But unfortunately, we live in the real world where women, unfortunately, they use their status, they use whatever they have going on to sometimes even put down other women, or if they don't feel good about themselves, they try to shame other women into being in the struggle. And God forbid you are a woman who is being taken care of by a man, because there are a lot of women who don't like to see other women in healthy relationships. And this is where also that manipulation comes in, and knowing where you are in your life right now is very important when it comes to dealing with women who are bitter and miserable and have had a lot of negative situations and have not healed. When women have not healed from a lot of the things that they've been through, they will project their insecurities. They will project their negative situations. They will project how they feel about something onto you. And the difference is when people are jealous, they will do it at your highest moment. When you are in a healthy relationship and you're doing well in your relationship, women who are jealous and envious, they will often use that as the opportunity to tell you about how they've been cheated on, how they've been mistreated, how this happened to me, that happened to me. All men are this, all men are that. No, this is not me trying to, say that men are great, all men are wonderful. This is how a lot of women who are jealous and envious tend to move. When they see another woman happy in her relationship as well, because we're not going to act like a lot of times women don't get jealous from seeing other women happy in relationships, because today women are being taught that men are no good, use them for their money only, they're good for nothing else. And that's not true. On this channel, as feminine women, we love and appreciate masculinity. We love and appreciate men who act like men. And when you're in a relationship with a man and you have a good thing going on and a woman's jealous, oh yeah, she's going to be praying for your relationship to be destroyed in some way, especially when she's not happy in hers and she see you being a little bit too happy. She don't even want to hear about a lot of the things that you have going on with your man. And it's simply because she's not experiencing it. And if she is one of those women who thinks that, okay, somehow you doing well with your man is somehow making her look bad, she's going to be the kind of woman, and this is just my opinion, that you really have to watch around your man. And I know a lot of women say that, if a man can be taken, then he's not really your man. No man can be taken. But there are some women who say they're your friends, but they are all in your man's face. And I do not understand that. There is such a thing as boundaries, and you have to have boundaries when it comes to your relationships and the women in your life. There are only a few women that I absolutely know I can sit around my husband and I'm not worried about anything. I'm not worried about anything going down on his part, period. But somebody trying something, I don't have any issues with any women like that. Thankfully, me and my husband are on the same time when it comes to those kind of things. But I've never really had to worry about that except for one time. And you're going to have to look at a previous live to get the details on that. But yes, that is very much a real thing. Any woman who is naive enough to say, "Oh, your man, if you have to worry about that kind of thing, then you're insecure." No, it's just protecting what's yours. I will honestly admit I am possessive. I'm not jealous. I'm possessive. I refer to my people as my people. That's my husband. That's my children. I refer to him as my, and I say his first name. That's mine's. Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that. I know there's some women who, they get thrown off by that because feminism, over feminism, has taught you men bad. Try to be them. No, no, no. That's not what we do here. Not at all. I appreciate the masculinity that my husband brings. Because of him, I don't have to do so many things that I would have to do. Like, that's just a little bit of a sidebar. That's not really about jealousy and manipulation. But a lot of women want you to feel bad about things like that, normal things. It's normal for the feminine to want the masculine. It's normal for a woman to be in a relationship, and if she's happy, to talk about that. There's nothing wrong with it. You shouldn't have to keep your relationship hidden in order to coddle the feelings of your so-called friend. If she can't handle hearing about your good times in your relationship, that's not your friend. It's very odd. Yes, my sister even sent email and ridiculed me for going to the gym. Then she joined months later. Body shaming. Oh, yes. Yeah, women, they will talk down about you, jealous women. They see you eating a salad. They'll say things like, "Oh, that's all you eat. You want this. You want that. That's all you eat." Body shaming you because you're trying to live longer. You're trying to be healthy. Another form of manipulation. Like, you really think like all you're going to eat is that? Is that really necessary? Does that really matter? Like, why are you like that? Because I want to live, because I want to look good. I want to feel good. Why not? Things like that. See, I believe, and to the previous comment, somebody put that we need to be there to encourage each other. And, it's hard to encourage somebody who always scrutinizes and critiques everything that you do. And a lot of women, I think it comes down to them not really knowing how to be real friends. Because when you're a real friend, you understand and accept your differences. You accept that, okay, you might like eating all the sandwiches and steaks and all that stuff. You might like all that stuff, but she's the friend that's the vegan, or she eats more vegetables and she does things like that. That's her vibe. I'm not doing it, but I respect it. That's where the mark is missed. That's the reason why a lot of women cannot be close friends, because they don't respect each other's differences. And if you don't like the differences, you don't have to deal with that person. That's the issue where jealousy and envy and bullying often comes in, because rather than women walking away from those women they don't vibe with, they'll keep them around and just use them for their entertainment and bully them or try to bully them and pick them apart. That's the issue that a lot of women have. That's the reason why a lot of women can't be friends or don't prefer to be friends, because you don't accept the differences. And when you see that they have something different, you just pick it apart. Not you, but I'm saying in general, that's a lot of the issue that leads to jealousy, envy, and bullying amongst women, the refusal to accept the differences. Like, if you're a gym rat, you like to go to the gym all the time, and your friend, she's not about it. She's thick and fabulous, not worrying about that. She can still support you going to the gym and say, when you come back, I'll meet you at the restaurant. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, a lot of women, not all, they can't move that way. Beach, yes, my sister. Okay. I read that one already. Your comments are coming so fast, so I apologize if I don't respond to each and every one. Dysfunctional families are common denominator. Yes. Clever Girl Reading, my first time on the channel. Welcome to the channel, Clever Girl Reading. I appreciate you being here. I hit the like button as soon as I came in the space because I see a Black woman creating content. I always do this when I enter a space to support each other. I absolutely appreciate you, Clever Girl Reading, and I hope you're getting value from the content. And I just, I really appreciate you. So thank you. You're welcome, and I appreciate you as well. Awesome, awesome. And I saw something also in the comments. Sometimes being more supportive means being more understanding, so I try to model that. But some women might not have good male leadership in their life too. Maybe, maybe. But the women who do that end up looking like clowns because what if they get out of flirting with your man? It's like good. Absolutely. And see, that's where, and this is a little bit of a big girl, it might not sound good to the average woman, but the women who are on this channel, you'll get it. If you have set the tone with the woman that you're already, friends with, if you move in that feminine queen energy, she would not feel comfortable flirting with your man. Like if you've already set the tone for the type of woman you are, if you carry yourself in a way that gives people the impression, I wouldn't dare try that with her. Like I'm not going to be that way. Like I don't know how to say it. It's like you can be the kind of woman that's kind, that's nice, that's patient, but you should still have a little bit of a, how can I say it? You have to have that queen energy. You still have to be able to not intimidate people because you don't want to intimidate people, but a woman who's confident has that air about her where people are not so easily going to try you. I hope I'm explaining that the right way. I'm trying not to say like put the fear of God into people because you don't want to do that. But there's nothing wrong with being a woman that people know I'm not going to try that with her. Like it's a respect thing. Like you respect yourself so much and you radiate like that respect and class and grace and like you just have dignity about yourself that other people just know. Like don't try that with her. Like I wouldn't try that with her. Like does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense to you. It's like you have to be the kind of woman that's not like, well, I don't really want to say anything. She means well. Like you don't want to be that kind of woman that's like, well, I'm not really going to say anything. Say something and know how to say it in a classy way. A lot of women do not know how to course correct people in a classy, dignified way. And I'm thankful that I learned how to correct people in a classy, dignified way. And I might do a whole video on how to read people and how to deal with people and not be nice, nasty, but be nice, nasty in a nice way. I'll probably do a video about that because there is a time where you're going to have to know how to put people in their place, but you have to be able to do it in a feminine, dignified way. It's necessary to know that even with well-meaning, well-intentioned women, or you think well-meaning, well-intentioned women, if they don't know, it is your job as a woman to let them know there are certain areas of your life they just do not play with. But that's going to be for another video. Diplomat, how are you? Nice content. Happy New Year. Happy New Year and welcome to the channel. My first live with you. Yeah. Oh, yes. Welcome, Malet Adamayu. I'm so sorry if I pronounce it wrong. Gifted within 7. I think salads, a good one, can be delicious. Absolutely. I eat salads all of the time. I have shrimp Caesar salads. I have chicken Caesar salads. That's pretty much what I stick to. But yeah, I just subscribed. She's making too much sense. Oh, it's wonderful. Hello, Lorraine Hicks. Welcome to the channel. So we're talking about the original theme of this video, or the topic is how jealous people try to manipulate you with their little tactics and the things they say. They try to get you to believe that you're doing too much or being arrogant or being proud, being prideful. You're being bougie, all because you expect them to be supportive people in your life and not be a hater. They try to reverse it on you and try to get you to think there's something wrong with you. So we're talking about that amongst other womanhood topics. Welcome. Simply Selena, I just subscribed, just found you. I love what you are saying. Welcome to the channel. I'm so glad, Simply Selena. Welcome and thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Amber Imani, I lost close to all my friends due to being a housewife, not knowing underneath is shifting sand over here. Of course, naturally, God was the fourth man in the fire. Yeah, when your lifestyle changes and how you change, again, it's knowing what season you're in. The kind of people that you were around before might not be the kind of people that you still need to be around till this day. You outgrow people. That's a thing too, when you outgrow people. And it's not feeling like you become better than somebody. It's not feeling like, somehow, I can't deal with them. You can outgrow certain things. Your mind changes. You mature as a woman. And there's nothing wrong with that. At one point, if you were a woman who was comfortable just sitting around other people, gossiping and talking about nonsense all day, and suddenly your mindset changes and you're like, look, I could be on YouTube making money. I could be out making money. I could be spending time with my kids. I could be planning vacations. I could be out at the mall shopping. I could be, most importantly, spending time with God, not on the phone talking to you about nothing, not on the phone talking about so and so and them down the street trying to figure out what they're doing when they're living their life. Your mindset shifts. I know for me, I got so tired, and I never really was like a gossip like that. But a lot of the people that I would deal with on a often basis, they were always talking about other people and what they're doing, talk about things from the past. And I'm like, my goodness, like the things you're talking about happened when my son is the age he is now, when I was my son's age. Like, can we move past these things? Can we talk about something different? Can we do something different? Like, I'm grown now. I don't care about these things anymore. Whatever happened in the past is the past. I don't want to talk about other people's lives, other people's problems, unless we have some kind of plan on helping them, unless they're involved and there's a solution attached to this. See, elevated women, women who are wise, discerning, and just want to level up in general, we are very much solution-based thinkers. We don't have time to just sit around talking just to be talking. And I know that might sound weird unless there's something coming out of it. You know what I mean? Like just talking about Beyonce and like, okay, what they might be a part of. Okay, I'm not knocking Beyonce, good for her, but it's like those people are not thinking about me. They're living their life. I don't care about the awards. I care about the awards as in some of the things will be nice, but the point I'm making is like pop culture, other people's lives, even in real life, gossiping, complaining constantly. I can say in my own life, I would deal with some people that love to just complain all the time. And I'm not saying that I didn't complain, and all of us complain from time to time. But some people's whole personality is whining and complaining. And I know for me, I got tired of that really quick. I started to see that not only was it unproductive, but it was holding me back. Like I could be focusing on more positive things here. And I know there's something in scripture that's written about not complaining all the time. So I don't think this is good for me. So wasting my time being on the phone, gossiping and complaining, it's just not what I want to do. Like I've moved past this. It would irritate me to be in those conversations. Nothing wrong with acknowledging like you're past certain things. You're past that. I los cause naturally God is in. Yeah, look, God moves you on to other things the way I see it. Your mindset changes. Nothing wrong with that. And when your mindset changes, normally the first thing that comes open when your eyes come open is the fact that people are mishandling you. Estria Rosia Rosales. Hi, welcome to the chat. A lot of women are just plain haters. I work from home and I have my own business. And I had a friend who would always tell me about different places hiring since I didn't work according to her. Oh my goodness. You're not doing good enough for them. Shay Lopez, you have some people you would think that if they're doing better than you, they wouldn't have the time to hate on you. And yet, a lot of people who you might perceive as doing better than you, they are normally the ones who have the most negative things to say about you. They absolutely are jealous of you because you don't need the level of status that they need, or you don't need as much validation as them, and they don't like it. I can't stand people like that. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you right now. I'm getting hot. I can't stand that. It's like if you perceive yourself as doing better than me, then why are you worrying about what I'm doing? And it's because not all women require the same level of validation that some do. Some women, and especially women that tend to be haters and jealous, they spend their entire life trying to prove to other people how much they accomplish, how much they do, how much they're worth, how much money they have, how good they look. But women who are truly confident and comfortable with themselves, they will quietly enjoy their blessings, do what they know to do, live their life, mind their business, drink their water. And unfortunately, haters will see you as a target. And it's all because you don't need a lot of outside validation. A woman who does not need a lot of outside validation will always be a target for haters. See, in their mind, whatever job you're doing probably wasn't good enough for them because they spend their entire time trying to get praise from other people when you could care less. You know you're happy with what you're doing, and the people who are around you, more than likely, they appreciate you. They see what you're doing, but you're not always like, look at what I'm doing to prove your worth. When you're in your femininity, and I don't know if you're more leaning into your femininity or not, but for feminine women, for confident women, it's more so about how do I feel about me? And you could be perfectly content being a secretary. You could be perfectly content. Nothing wrong with any of these careers I'm naming. I'm just using examples. You could be perfectly content being a secretary. You could be perfectly content being a cashier. You could be perfectly content being a daycare worker, whatever it is. And it's because it suits your lifestyle. It suits your personality. You like what you're doing and it fits. But to a woman who is accustomed to doing things just so other people can see, and so that makes her feel good, if you're the kind of woman that doesn't need all of that and you're happy, look, for many, many years, I just did little menial jobs. My husband was working. I did little menial jobs. I did menial for me, cashier, things like that, stock certain things, part-time, working 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day, just to do something to get out the house, have a little bit of extra money for myself, have my time, and come back home. And for many people, that wasn't good enough. They must have thought I was trying to climb a corporate ladder. I wasn't trying to do any of that. I didn't care about any of that. I wasn't like them. And when you're not like the others, they're going to use you as somehow, you're a target of their jealousy because you don't need all of that. You're content. A woman who's content and feeling good about herself, looking good, trying to keep herself together, she will be a target for women who are accustomed to the attention of other people. Yeah, and it's a weird dynamic because you would think if they're doing so much better than you in their eyes, if they have all these great things, why do they care about you? And it's because, once again, you don't need all of that attention. And a woman that doesn't need attention oftentimes is the one who gets it the most, and they cannot stand that. That's just the way it is. You are often the one that people want to come help, that people want to do things for, that, you might get offers and different promotions and people want to do different things for you. And it's not because you're always trying to get somebody to see what you're doing. See, a part of being a feminine woman, you're no longer trying to prove yourself. Even a part of being a confident woman, you're no longer trying to prove yourself to anyone. You just want to live a life that makes you feel good and makes you feel at peace. And if you found that in having an ice cream truck, and being a cashier and being somebody's assistant, then you're happy with that. You don't need all the other things that women who are more insecure need in order to feel validated and good about yourself. And that's not to say that women who have high accomplishments like CEO, owning a conglomerate, nothing wrong with that. Because there are a lot of women who are in these top tier positions and they're doing it because that also gives them fulfillment, and nobody really knows what they're doing, but they love it. That's them. Again, when you're not doing things to get attention from other people and you're just living your life and it makes you feel good, normally women who feel like their whole life is about making other people see what they're doing so they can feel good, they're not going to like a confident and content woman. Absolutely not. Thank you. I cannot be around people that's always complaining, angry. Yes, I can't stand it. Complaining, angry for no reason. Like if something happened, we can talk about it. But just angry and complaining for no reason, my goodness, that's so miserable. And I dealt with people like that for years. I was around people like that for years. Just miserable, angry for no good reason. I can't. Be thankful and pray. Absolutely. I try my best to stay in an attitude of being thankful. I wasn't always like that. I was a part of the complaining committee too, because I was around it. And I'm not saying it's their fault, but that's what I knew. But it took a while for me to realize, look, you complain about certain things that look at your life. Thank God for your life. Yeah, you always, nothing wrong with wanting better or doing better or being better, but enjoy where you are. And surround yourself with people who are also thankful for where they are. Stop dealing with those miserable people that's always pointing out every little negative thing. That's not healthy. I am an exempt HR professional, talent acquisition specialist, and I do work many hours. Recently, a friend told me that it didn't take that many hours to do the work I do. How would she know? It's weird. Um, but the reason was to encourage me to go out and party instead of completing my work. I'm doing very well, and I felt I was being pulled away. It went away. I got enough of what you were saying in order to answer, though. Yeah. Women who are jealous and envious of what you do, also, they will definitely try to serve as distractions in your life, all because, and nothing wrong. A woman who knows how to enjoy and just go out and enjoy herself, and a woman that prefers to work and do things, nothing wrong with that either. But you can tell when a woman, it doesn't take all those hours to do what you do. It's almost as if she's putting down what you do as if it's insignificant, as if she would know. Unless she's an HR professional, talent acquisition person too, how would she know? That's not nice to say, in my opinion. My mom is the angry, complaining woman. I can't be near her. Yeah, I had parents like that too. Just can't do it. When I was working, I did well not to worry about what other people thought of me. I was polite and professional, but I had many haters. Absolutely. And it's because you didn't worry about the things they were worrying about. I'm sure. I've dealt with that also because I'm not running around worrying about what Susie, Bobby, Timmy, and Miss Susanna and think about my work. I just do my work so I can go. All I care about is that the deposit hits on Friday. That's literally all I care about. No validation required. If you see what I'm doing, I appreciate that. And you work to the best of your ability. But whether they clap for you or not, you still have to know your worth. And then focus on your agenda and the reason why you're there. Because not to sound selfish, but you have to focus on what is in it for you. It's not always about somebody else. They can clap, but their clapping is not going to put money in your bank account. Them just saying good job, what does that do? To me, especially when it comes to work, as long as the deposit hit, I don't care what you do or don't say. A girl out of my group, I was told. Hi, Redeemed. Welcome to the live chat. Welcome. My battery is getting lower. I thought I had more time. I said I was going to go all the way until the battery died, and it's just about dying now. My goodness, I'm on my computer. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can answer one more question before I go. Can you please also do a video on how to deal with unwanted male attention? Unwanted male attention. I may do a video on that in the future. Yes, but when it comes to, thank you, Redeem. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you all for being here, and I'm glad you're getting value from the content. But when it comes to people who try to manipulate you because they're jealous and envious and they want you to accept their bad behavior, accept their mistreatment and mishandling of you, do not accept it as normal. It is absolutely not normal. Know your worth and know when somebody is trying to mishandle you. And lastly, if you have not gotten the book, How to Be a Feminine Woman, the Blueprint, I suggest you get that book. 8 power pack chapters, a short read, and then also Girl on Girl Wars. If you type in Girl on Girl Wars into the Amazon browser, my book will automatically populate. Get that book. It is about jealousy and envy amongst women in different settings, including workplace, family, friends, the work environment, church, even colorism. And then there's a bonus chapter on jealousy of men toward women. So I suggest that all of you get that book, Girl on Girl Wars, Jealousy and Envy Amongst Women. And I have another book, How to Detox from Toxic People. That was my journaling and just thinking, and it turned into a book. It really helps me to get my thoughts out, and I think it's going to help other people. So, ladies, I don't want my computer to die midway through, so I'm going to end this now. I appreciate you all. Continue to like, subscribe, and share the content. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for the cash apps. Thank you for the live chats, the chats, super chats, super thanks. Thank you for all of that. I absolutely appreciate you. Until the next one, if you watch it till the end, put the high heel emoji in the comment section. I absolutely appreciate you. Take care. Thank you for being here. You're welcome. Take care, all.